Howdy, everyone. Guys, we're gonna take like 2 minutes, let you guys eat a little bit, and see if we get more viewers on the stream, and then we'll get started. For now, everyone can look at my pretty PowerPoint. And we're now streaming, so hello, peoples outside, or those joining us from wherever you are. Drop us a note, let us know where you're from. So one of the advantages of coming here in person is you get free stuff from our sponsors. Trend Micro loves. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller so you guys don't have to. There we go. All right, guys, welcome. Grab a seat or grab some food, grab a seat. We're about to get started. If I could have just one request after you guys get finished eating, please put on a mask. I know we're all vaccinated here, but it lessens the amount of transmission. Obviously, when you're eating, that's not possible. And when I'm speaking, it would be very difficult for me to do this without, with the mask on. But yeah, we do like to avoid death for the most part. That was one of the things that, I mean, it's kind of weird that that was something that I thought about, but for, when I came back to, to organize base was how do we do this without killing people during the pandemic? And so, minimizing particles is one of the ways we can do that. Because we'll definitely stop having in person when we start, transmitting COVID to people. All right, so it looks like if I make myself even a little bit smaller, then you guys at home can see me. We are going to be flipping around a little bit, so I apologize for that. But can everyone online hear me okay? I can see your chat if you want to say hello. Nobody wants to say hello. That's cool. That's cool. You guys can just watch. All right, so today we're going to do something that's a workshop, a little bit complicated. Also, I'm going to do something very similar, a little more, take the next step at DevOps Days Houston. But today we're going to install Ubuntu and K3s, which is a Kubernetes distribution, on a Raspberry Pi. And the reason why we're going to use K3s is because it's one of the few distributions that will run well on a Pi. There's also like K0s and a few others. And then I picked Ubuntu because it's pretty much the most popular distribution out there. And with a little bit of tweaks, it's pretty easy to get working. And they have pre-built images on the Pi, but you could also use micro OS from SUSE, or Red Hat's miniaturized OS. So you have a few options, but Ubuntu works pretty well. So special thanks before we get started to Innovation Depot, as always, for having us. Y'all are pretty awesome. Also, Trend Micro, you guys are also pretty awesome for providing food today and always. And then you guys, thank you for coming. This would be pretty pointless if people were not wanting to learn. So, but as a caveat, I will, I encourage you now, and I encourage you in the future. Once you, you have something that you know and you want to share it with everyone else, or you really think everyone else should understand it and know how to use it, and it's something, a technology that we can all benefit from, I invite you to come and reach out to me and do a talk, and that would be awesome. Also, it's a good practice for public speaking in general. So this month, on the 1st, we're here. We're doing a DevOps Lunch and Learn today. Then on the 16th, there will be the virtual game developer meetup. Some cool stuff. Hopefully we'll get to see the Vulkan Jam games that other people have done. And maybe other people maybe in this room could show us what games they've been working on. And then on the 24th, we'll have a lunch and learn. And I think in the evening, we'll have the All Your Base meetup as well. 23rd, okay, never mind. Let's go ahead and change that before I forget. So All Your Base will be on the 23rd. Thanks, Justin. At On Tap in Hoover, awesome. Yep, and part of that is we are in the Birmingham metro area, right? So we'd like to invite people from the suburbs to come join us and learning. Cool. So, and then we'll be doing a React to Angular and back again JavaScript talk on the 24th. All right, so what is involved in getting K3s running with Ubuntu and PI4? Actually, you know what, before we get there, let's do a quick check on, hello concurrent viewers. Cool, they're there. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so we're going to need to burn an image of Ubuntu onto a micro SD card. So for those not familiar with the PI4s, they, like the other Pis, they take a little SD card. Now, so I think they can also use a faster memory, but this is the cheapest way to run a Pi. And it works fairly well, but it's not the fastest, right? So your I/O speed is pretty limited, but K3s works well, whereas normal Kubernetes may have a hard time with it. All right, so we will put Ubuntu on this image, then we will set up Wi-Fi. So these next two parts, setting up Wi-Fi and configuring the C groups, those two parts are required to get Containerd and K3s running properly. If we were not going to install K3s, we maybe would not have needed to do the number 3, configure C groups. And then if we had a plug somewhere, maybe, I'm not sure what network that's connected to, but it's possible we wouldn't have had to set up the Wi-Fi. The reason why I put it in here, and I'll show instructions, is because it's kind of a pain in the butt. So if you don't have, and we'll do it on this monitor over here. So sorry, you guys at home, you will not really have access. And right now I have a working K3s with that's already been set up, just so we can have a one that works in case the demo doesn't. And then I have another SD card, so we'll actually go through the process of setting it up. All right, so any questions? Oh yeah, and we'll also profit. I don't know how, but we'll figure that out. Any questions so far, here or at home? Nope, no questions so far. Say hello. Howdy, y'all. Cool. All right, well, let's get started. So to burn the SD card, you need to get an image from Ubuntu, and they have one on their website for Raspberry Pi specifically. And you need a image burner. There are plenty of apps to do this. I like one that's free. It's by Balena. It's Etcher, and it comes on Mac OS and Windows, and I don't know if it comes on Linux, but on Linux you have plenty of other options. But this one works on Mac and Windows, so I already have that installed. Let's go to sure we are still, yeah, good, we're broadcasting. Etcher, oh, it doesn't, okay, there it is, Balena Etcher. And then you can use any kind of card reader, but this laptop came with one, so that's pretty sweet. And we will flash from a file, and earlier today I downloaded Ubuntu 2004.3. And ooh. Okay, there you go. Oh, I do not want to write to the click share. Okay, so my SD card isn't being recognized, which I did that earlier today. So I had to go into my drives or devices. Hard drives. I guess I turned off the plug and play at some point, and now it makes me rescan. But I'm cool with that. I don't really want, uninvited disks to auto mount. No, I don't want to format it. We'll do it through here, through Etcher. So the reason why you need to use a special app, for those of it needs to be set to be bootable. And so there's like a flag that it has to be flipped. You can do it manually through like Linux command line, or you can use an app like this that'll do it for us. So here's my 64 gig card, and you really don't need 64 gigs. It's just what I had bought for my cluster because it also gave me space for other things. So now this thing is, we disabled click share. All right, there we go. Cool. It's not bad. All right, so while Etcher is doing its thing, it won't take long. So I decided we go ahead and do that. We can go on and look at the next option. So this next part, adding Wi-Fi, requires manually logging into the box and editing a file in etc/netplan /50-cloud-init.yaml and then rebooting. And as you can, I stole this, borrowed this from Hubor on Medium. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you. But it, so down here where it says access points, I don't know if you guys can see that, but we specify which Wi-Fi network we want to connect to, and then a password. In this case, we're not going to have one because we're going to connect to Innovation Depot's guest, which I believe is just Innovation Depot guest. Yep, one word. Yeah, and then, so we'll be setting that up on this machine once the image is fully burned, and yeah, and then we'll reboot, and hopefully our Wi-Fi will work. What's up, Eric? I hope so. I have a password on my home network, so well, yeah, I thought about that, and we're about to find out. We'll try both ways. If it connects, great. If it doesn't connect, then we did it wrong. So next time, I think I may try to get this hooked up through the Elgato setup, but today we're gonna do it right over here. First, let's see how our Etcher is doing. Yes, sir. Oh, so here I'm using Vi. Well, like it's just a text editor. So I will log in directly on this machine on the Raspberry Pi. Actually, it might be worth it to take a look at the Raspberry Pi. So it's this little computer right here, and it's got normal plugs for keyboard and mouse, and then the ports have a micro or mini HDMI. I forgot which one this is. I think it's mini. But basically, it's like, how at first there was USB-A, and then there was USB micro or mini and then micro. So the same thing with HDMIs, they're just miniaturizing it, so you can fit actually two of them on here. You got one over here? Oh, this one. Two HDMIs over here, your power, and then you normally see that. Actually, you have USB 3, and for those of you at home, USB 3 and USB 2, you can plug in the keyboards and the USB 2s, so you don't waste your USB 3s. I've also seen some people try to run hard drives off the USB 3, and it's faster than using the local parts. Yeah, this is perfect. You just need a micro SD card. Oh yeah, sweet. Yeah, so go ahead and maybe you can go ahead and do it. You can download the image from Ubuntu. You can Google for Ubuntu Pi image, and I think it's like the first or second link. All right, Etcher, how are we doing? Whoops. Etcher's done. Awesome. So we have done the basic deed. Let me safely disconnect it. Oh, no. I guess it's already disconnected. Cool. So we will switch out our working system. Be careful how you power cycle these. One of the things that can kill these real easily is power cycling them without shutting down like I just did. But since it's my backup, I'm going to risk it. So also, when you can get attachments for these that have power buttons on them, and I super recommend those because it's really, the reason why I don't have one on here is because I usually use this as a cluster, so it's always hooked up. So I just use a little, like I have 4 of these, and it's hooked up all together on a thing. But you can also use PoE for these, so you can power these with an extra attachment that you can put on top of these. You can power these through Ethernet, and so you only need one connector, and that's pretty cool. All right, let's put this one back. All right, so what we have here is we have a booting Pi. We're not really going to be able to see this very well, so it's booting. You will have to verbally trust me on this. But as soon as we get the Wi-Fi up, we'll switch to where I'll SSH in from my machine, and everything will be lovely. But for now, we're just booting into the Pi. And I don't know why I'm wearing this. It's probably going to be pretty difficult to. All right. Raspberry Pi, and okay, cool. So by default, the username and password on Ubuntu is Ubuntu. But it's going to make you change it when you, whoops, Ubuntu. It's going to make you change it on first login, so I'm going to reset it to password. Wait. Ubuntu. Huh. That is weird. Ubuntu password. Huh. Okay. All right, now it's okay. Ubuntu, and then change the password. So I'm gonna current password, Ubuntu, new password. We're gonna be super secure here. Oh, again, password. All right, so I've logged in, and now I'm going to run literally this command exactly. So let's go see. Sudo vi etc autocomplete netplan 50 cloud init, and then so right now all mine has it just has the first part of it. It has the Ethernet's version 2, and so on the next line we will add Wi-Fi's. And you have to hit back a couple times on this. By default, Vi wants to give you an extra 4 white space. So just be careful as you're setting it up that your white spacing matches what's above it. Okay, so WLAN 0, and that's our LAN. And it's going to be the same on all your Pis, unless you did something weird, but you probably then know what you're doing. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then here we're going to do optional true. That seems unnecessary. Maybe it's not that optional. Access points. And then we're going to do innovation. Deeper. Oh, yeah, deeper. Yes. And assuming I spelled innovation correctly. All right, and then we'll just do DHCP since we're going to skip the password thing here, and hopefully that will not bite us in the butt. And instead we'll just do DHCP4. True. Yeah. DHCP4 true. Cool. All right. Let's hope that works. And then sudo restart. Is it reboot? It's reboot. Okay, so it's going to reboot. When it comes back, it will, if we're at all lucky, have Wi-Fi. And then we will be able to do everything else from here. We'll get its IP address and then SSH it. How is our... Oh, cool. It's cool. Y'all don't have to say anything. How about y'all? Questions, comments, suggestions? Anyone else play around with the Pi? Cool. Yeah, they are. What have you done with it? Anything cool? What have you done with it?
My major self-implementation tool. So setting up Ubuntu.
So Apache, that is an interesting choice. Can you tell me why you went with Apache for your web server?
It was just I did it because I thought it wasn't.
So I find it interesting because Apache was pretty much replaced by Nginx as like the go-to. I guess I wouldn't call it a web server because it's really a reverse proxy that lets something else be a server, whereas Apache was like a full-featured web server. But because of that, I thought that it would take more resources. So that's why I thought it was an interesting choice.
Set up Python and shell scripts for managing it, making bots for the
All the time. All right, so I think we did not quite connect. So we're gonna edit this again and see what we got wrong. So sudo. Vi, Etsy, NetPlan. What's next? 50 cloud. Okay. Wi-Fi's. So now we're going to try with that other option, right? So what happened? I don't remember who brought that option up, but good call on it. I think it was Eric. Was that you, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I do that right? Always tab. Okay, password. And yeah, we're gonna try it. Try blank. See what happens. And I just put double quotes there. We'll see if that works better. I used to use a lot of Apache, and then PHP kind of the FPM module became a better way to scale, and then that was kind of my switching to Nginx moment. But that was just because I had to host a lot of PHP. Cool, and it's all right. All right, log in. Ubuntu password. No, did I misspell password? No, it's good. Okay. IP error. Yes. No, wait. Nope, it's down. Okay. Did I spell innovation correctly? Just double check that. Innovation depot. Yes. Okay. No, that's right. We got the right DHCP4. It's true. Optional true. Wi-Fi's. WLAN 0. DHCP true. Okay. Well. Comment out that password. Mm-hmm. Well, if that doesn't work, I'm gonna have to run a hotspot for it, or plug it into that and see where it goes. That would be fun. Kids, don't stick your cords in the wrong wall plugs. But seriously, right? You never know what's on the other side of the network unless you do know. Fourth? Is this fourth time? Nobody's counting? Fourth time. Password. wget google.com. Can we get a Google? Nope. Okay. We can get a Google over here, though. Let's do a Google. Bus. Nope. That's not what we need. Oh, so you can test, generate, and apply changes by doing sudo netplan apply. Yeah, let's do sudo netplan. Okay, so it says unknown config. Yeah. Oops. Error network definition, unexpected mapping, check. Okay, so it does not, it's actually erroring out on Innovation Depot equals guest, or Innovation Depot guest instead of, so access points, and then, what is wrong with our network name? Okay, let's go one. All right. It's a check indentation. Oh God. 0. On the S, right? Yeah. Okay. The HTTP true. It really wants a password, it seems. ASCII phrase must be between It does not like Innovation Depot. Yes, as the what? I don't get it. Innovation Depot guessed ASCII passphrase must be between. Oh, it doesn't like my passphrase. I am stupid. Okay. So it is the password issue. So for the record, it does not like a blank password. We need to find a way to remove the password. Let's see. Plan pi. So, um, is there just a net plan documentation? Awesome. Structure.
Passport line is
So it is required. Like that, I got a different error. So it said invalid indenting because the password line was required. Or it went away after I put in the password. It should be. Device types for Wi-Fi's. Explains mapping. Okay. Okay, so if neither this nor an auth block are given, so you're right. The network is assumed to be open. So it should have worked, right? So if we don't provide a password, maybe it just doesn't like that I put in. See, it says error in network definition expecting mapping. Check indentation. Oh, is it I think it's because I put it on a different line and made it think that there was going to be something. And maybe it doesn't need to be. Nope, it does. It needs a mapping. Okay. So enter next line. 1, 2, 3. Man, I guess this is a lot easier if you have a password. Error network definition, mapping expected access points. Okay. Man, it still wants that extra mapping, but it, we don't need a password there, so I wonder what we would map there. Let's see. Seriously, there's got to be a way to do this. Let's see. All right. Oh, okay. So yeah, turns out you do need a mapping, and I didn't. So if there's nothing, if you have no options in here, you have to do the curly braces, I guess. Oh yeah. So that's interesting. All right. Let's see. How's that? Yes. All right. Reboot. Whew. Okay, that was a little bit rough. Okay, we'll get through the rest of this real fast. Lesson learned: test everything exactly the way how you're going to present it. Let's see. All right, so hopefully we'll get a IP address and we can remote in. And for those of you at home, very important when you're setting this up, make sure you have for open network, put in the curly braces. Okay. Ubuntu password. That's all right. IP address. Yes, we have an IP address. That is awesome. It is 172.16.21.40, 140, 164. All right. I'll pop into my Windows subsystem for Linux. SSH Ubuntu at 172.16.21.164. Whoops. Thanks for correcting me, Alan. It's cool. Wait. Seriously? So 2 dot, what am I missing? Dot 21. Hey, okay. So, all right, we now have the Pi logged in, and we really don't need this anymore. It can still be there, but at this point, I would disconnect it and get going on the machine here. So let's make this a little bigger. Can we? I don't know. Nope. Seriously? Doesn't get bigger? Seems problematic. WSL fans here? Nope. Okay. What? Bigger? Adjust the size on it. Let's see. Edit. No, I was not the full screen, but the text size. It's cool. Thanks to us. Oh yeah, we want large. No, that's cursor. Where's the text? Go to the text tab. Font. 70s. All right. How about that? A little bit bigger. Yeah, but not on. This is the WSL on Windows. So this is a Windows prompt. All right, we'll go 36. All right, that should be good. You know, everybody see that? Let's check people at home. Are you guys still with us? Hey, 3 of you are still with us. Thanks. All right, cool. All right, so we are, just for those to remind you, we are now in the box and we logged in. And we'll go ahead and become root. So let's look at our list of things to do. We did that finally. Oh man, was that a pain in the butt? Let's not do that again. All right, so the next thing we got to do is the C group thing. It's kind of a pain. It's a lot easier when you're on a machine here. And yeah, so all we're going to do is just going to copy and paste. And then here, so we're going to add our text in front of the rest of the items. And there's a white space behind it, which is fine. And then you right click to import things. All right, so that should be it. We're going to do a reboot. And the reason why we did that is because the container D that normally runs with K3s requires this thing to be set up. Otherwise, I guess it can't access the memory that it needs to. And that's underneath it. So alternative here, when you go to install K3s, if you don't want to go through this next step that we just did, you can specify -- docker and use Docker. And then you have to install Docker beforehand, but then you can use Docker instead of container D. I don't recommend that as a long-term solution, though. It's a lot better to do it this way. Docker for K3s does work fine. And if you want to check out K3D, it is actually K3s with Docker for your developer machine. But all right, let's see if we can log back in. And this thing might have changed. Oh, no, it did not. It is back. Awesome. It's really slow, though. Okay, we're in. And now, so in a production environment, you probably would not set up K3s just with this. You can pass it environmental variables. You can pass it configuration stuff. You can do a lot of settings. And those you can find on k3s.io. For us today, we're going to do just the basics. For the next one, we will set up not just this box, but we'll set up another Pi that will be a downstream cluster. And we'll connect them and have them talking to each other. All right, so let's go ahead and run it. And this will download the K3s binary. The cool thing about K3s is it really just comes with one binary. And that was one of the technical decisions that they made. Everything gets packaged with it and then gets expanded. And yeah, so it ends up being quite useful. And easy to migrate. If you're using something like Terraform or Ansible or Salt, you can just copy that file in, and then you run the binary the first time, and it expands with all the other packages that you need. Yep. Okay. So now we can do we're already root service K3s status, and we're here. Yay. Okay. So now some of the okay. Can we exit now? Okay. Some of the cool places you can go, user local bin. In here, if you're working with K3s and you need to get rid of it, there's an uninstall command. If you need to start over and start from scratch with K3s, run the K3s uninstall command. First run the kill all, and then run the uninstall, and it will do as it says. Very useful. If you also notice, there are symlinks here for. And this, well, you may not notice, but yeah, so these CTR, that's that is the controller for the containers themselves, for container D, and cry control is also a controller, I believe, also for container D, and then kubectl is the Kubernetes controller, the command line tool. So all of those versions basically come in K3s. So right now, if I do kubectl, I didn't install kubectl, but it's there because K3s installed it for me. So now, if I want to do kubectl get pods, I should have a working cluster up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, sweet. So now, but I'm only accessing this right now from that machine, and that's not really optimal, right? So, but let's go back to our thing. Did we do? Yeah, we installed K3s, and yeah, and then we profited. But let's get this working on my machine, and the way we do that is inside etcd rancher K3s. There is a K3s.yaml file. This is your kube config file. So if I wanted this to run for my local machine, I could copy it out manually, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Okay. I really don't like touchpads. They are so much fun. All right, let's try this with the little red dots. Nope, still don't like it. Okay. We'll just cut off the text later. That's a lot of white space. Okay, so now we can go into back into our machine. I'll just pop open a new WSL window. Okay, that was weird. So here for those of you that have kept up with the Kubernetes stuff, inside your home directory under .cube, there's a config file, and we're going to remove this config file because it's from the last cluster, and then we're going to edit it, and we copied our items in there. And so now let's clean up so we don't forget. One more thing, in this file specifies how we connect to K3s. And if you notice that the server address here is a local host address, that's 127.0.0.1. This only works on the Pi, right? So we need to modify this for 172.16.21.164. I think that's what the Pi was. Let's double check. Another screen. Yep, 21.164. Cool. Okay. So we just put the external address and look at the port 6443. This is the control port for Kubernetes. Pretty much all Kubernetes distributions use it. You need to have that port accessible. So obviously, if you don't have it accessible, this is not going to work. Also, your certificate authority data, if you have an invalid certificate, that will not work very well. In all cases, like your remote services will ignore it. You can remove that block and like put in insecure skip true, something like that, or invalid skip true. But for us, I think it is going to work just fine because we're doing it manually. So if I do kubectl get pods, I should get that same list. And if you notice, there were 2 extra pods that were not in the last screen, the Helm installs. Those are jobs that ran and completed. But if we look now onto our other screen, connect back to the password. So if we do it now, it should have those in there as well, because they run a little bit after installation, so it takes a minute for them to get there. Okay, so we now have a Pi with K3s that can host stuff. So like if I were to, and it's got an ingress controller called traffic. So if I were to access this, let's go 172.16.21.164. That not found is coming from the traffic controller. By the way, traffic is just like Nginx. It's a reverse proxy. So it can host, you can host your Node.js behind it. You can host your static files. You can host whatever. It's you can proxy it to any service inside Kubernetes. So that's, I believe this is definitely the profit section. So that's it. Questions, comments, suggestions? Guys? No? Okay. Well, that was cool. Let's see. Will we have anything from the people at home? Hey, people at home. There's only 2 of you left. Thanks for sticking around. No questions. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Going to end the live stream. Appreciate y'all. See you at the next function. And again, if you guys want to teach, please, even if it's something small like K3s, or you have an app that you're building that you want to share how you're building it. If you're working on Unity, man, I would love to learn some Unity. Or C# or whatever project you're doing. Hey, I would love to see your Rock Pi project. That sounds pretty cool. So, and I'm sure others would too, and we can all learn from it and get better. So anyway, thanks all. Appreciate you. Hope you have a great day.